Greetings, my fellow Americans and patriots, citizens. What does Rosa Parks and the thousands of civil rights demonstrators from the 1950s and 60s have to do with combating rising healthcare costs in our country today? Well, I'm going to answer that question. But first, I'd like to demonstrate why healthcare costs are out of control. It's a simple demonstration. So simple, in fact, that an idiot could understand it. That's right, even a United States congressman or the sitting president of the United States of America could recognize the root cause of rising healthcare costs in our country. So, my demonstration begins with the trip to the doctor, and I would like to invite you to come with me. So, what's the first thing that we do when we get to our physician's office? We sign in at the front desk and retrieve a clipboard that contains a number of forms. We complete information such as contact information, a medical history, our insurance information, and then we sign a form that guarantees payment for any charges that our insurance company does not pay. So, the first thing that we do is guarantee payment. Now that we've guaranteed payment, we are free to see the doctor. We enter the exam room and describe our problems, and it's at that point that the doctor makes treatment recommendations. We consider our options and, based on the information provided, make the best medical decision that we can. We discuss our treatment options. Now that we've selected a treatment option, we receive treatment. Now, some weeks or months later, we receive a statement in the mail. Now, if you're like me, this is no joy. In fact, it's a gut-wrenching experience. It causes me to break out in sweat and fill my stomach with dread. Why is that? The reason is relatively simple. When I receive my bill, I freak out because I don't understand it. When I open the bill and look at it, there's a list of line items that contain descriptions, codes, and charges that I don't understand. Now, because I don't understand them, I have no way of determining, in fact, whether or not these procedures were ever performed on my behalf. In addition, because I don't understand it, I have no viable recourse for challenging these charges. Now, as if that weren't enough, at the bottom of the bill, there's usually a statement to the effect that failure to pay the balance in full within 30 days will result in my account being turned over to collections. Now, can you recognize the problem here? If not, take heart. You're now well qualified to serve in the House of Representatives because they don't recognize the problem either. The basic problem here is that we guarantee payment before we know how much it is. Can you think of anything else in life, any other product or service that you buy on a regular basis, that you guarantee payment for before you know how much it costs? Giving your physician your insurance card is like giving a Platinum American Express card to a 16-year-old and telling them to shop. No wonder healthcare costs are out of control. The physician is making treatment recommendations without knowing whether or not you can afford them. And the patient is committing to charges without knowing whether or not the patient can pay them. For the physician, this is simply unconscionable. It's so bad I can't even say that word. For the patient, it's just plain stupid. Why would you agree to pay for something before you know how much it's going to cost? And yet, that's what we do. Day in, day out, every day, for what seems like forever. Why is this? And the reason is relatively simple. It's what we do. It's what we've been doing for the last 30 years. Now, common sense would suggest a different sequence of events that begins with discussing your treatment and associated costs with your provider, because it's at this point that you can determine whether or not you can actually afford to be treated. If the costs are too high, then simply you're in a position to where you can negotiate a cost reduction with your care provider or seek alternative care. So once I select the treatment option that's presented to me, I guarantee payment. We discuss terms just as we would for any other purchase, whether it's a car, a piece of clothing, a house, etc., etc. So the doctor and I agree both on the treatment plan and the costs associated with that, and then I guarantee payment. Now, having guaranteed the payment, the physician then is comfortable in treating me, so I receive care. And as before, some weeks or months go by and I receive a statement in the mail. Now, the good news is that I don't freak out, because I know how much I spent when I went to the doctor. So I received my bill, and now for the first time I can look at it and compare the actual charges against the pre-treatment cost disclosure. I can do a line-by-line comparison to check for both the accuracy of the charges. So in the event that there's an overbilling, there's an error, there's fraud or abuse, I have recourse to challenge those charges. I can, in fact, make them go away.